keep them coming, especially when you get.
What are you doing on the ground? I didn't do anything. Now Chicho's appealing to the referee. There's no card. It's a simple foul. Joao Paul
is hosting. No Liga MX sides are hosting in League Cup. So not to make it confusing, the most important thing to understand, if the Union get out of the group stage, they win both games, or they have the most points,
stretches out, gets a touch.
Yeah, I saw it happen, just saw the replay, and he got a touch on it, and his boot went into the ground and stuck.
And that's always bad.
Just rattles your ankle.
Miocic sitting up now as the training staff attends to him. So obviously we'll have a little time added on at the end of the half of this. It'll be interesting to see with this entire refereeing crew coming from Liga MX. We've seen that here in MLS, they've really taken the lead following what we saw in the World Cup. And the stoppage time, instead of getting 1 minute for every 2 or 3 minutes, they've legitimately trying to be going one minute for 1 minute.
Yeah.
And we've seen 7, 8, 10 minutes added on. So in the Women's World
I'd
Cup,
say 9 minutes consistently.
The Women's World Cup, The U.S. got a goal in stoppage time against Vietnam. It was 45 plus 7 because they added 8 minutes on to the end of the half.
And I think they had 9 at the end of the game as well.
U.S. with a 3-0 win over Vietnam yesterday to open play in New Zealand. Okay, we're back underway now. RSL with the ball, and Marcelo Silva hits a big switch into the attacking half to Oviedo. Oviedo to Luna. Luna back to Ojeda, 40 yards out. He'll spin away from the pressure, come up to the near side, give the ball to Oviedo. Back centrally for Chicho Arango to Luna. Luna in the middle of the field for Ruiz. Ruiz for Masovsky. The ball pops up. Masovsky spins. Can't get to it. He goes down. Thinks he was tugged down. Referee turns and heads the other way. Seattle clears it, but they don't have anyone up top. So the ball goes to Vera. I did think Masovsky went down pretty soft there.
He got kind of stumbling a little bit as he was trying to get through it. The ball got away from him, so no call.
Oviedo down the left side to Luna. Luna to Chicho Arango, 25 yards out straight away. He'll give it to Savarino. His shot saved by Stefan Fry. He pushes it up over the bar and out. Savarino, 2 dangerous shots early in this game. Stefan Fry has made both saves, but Savarino is testing it.
And RSL in tight spaces are doing a phenomenal job. And it's really that second and third run. Everybody's finding that little channel, and they're moving the ball quickly. Luna doing a great job just trying to find Chicho Arango in those little holes. And then Savarino pops out, goes for power straight down the gut. And really, Stefan Fry, all he's got to do is get a paw on this one. It's going over the top.
Pablo Ruiz, second corner. He'll take it from the far side. Lefty, it'll be an in-swinger. 17th minute, scoreless game, RSL in Seattle. Here's a ball to Savarino. No, Chicho Arango heads it in the air, and the bike from Silva, and he's going to knock that out nowhere near on frame. Appreciate the enthusiasm, but that was a tough angle. He was outside the 6-yard box. Not only was he 10 yards off the end line, but he was on the near side of the 6-yard box. That was a sharp angle.
Tough shot, even if he's just taking a shot in general, but to try and get a full bike on this one, you saw the power. It was going to be a looping one. But Chicho Arango and his movement to get on the end of that ball, it looked like he had no chance.
Those shaded on the near side, so it wouldn't have counted there for Bueno. 3 attempts by the Union as we start 5 minutes of second half stoppage time, and still a 3-1 Union lead.
Gazdag picks up a good spot and slips Matt Rialin, who's just not able to keep it down and low to that far post. Bubbles around in there, and the Union can't get it on goal, and then all of a sudden it's an offsides call. So, again, the Union still pressing for more goals, wanting to make sure that their goal situation is where it needs to be for first place.
Now, Julian Carranza has had 2 cracks at a hat trick tonight, even though that one would have been offside. Tijuana picks him off far side of the field. Corona will just clear from his orange boots and a white goalkeeper kit. Union win it back thanks to the pressure of Jack Elliott, sprayed in by Kai Wagner. Whiffing for a moment there. It's one of the Tijuana players to the right of Corona, who squeezes it outside his own 6. And what you said ago, I want to echo those comments, because I think Jim Curtin's going to say to the media, this was not the prettiest night of soccer by the Union tonight. As you mentioned several times, just to rehash it for our listening audience, this could have been very different if Andre Blake doesn't make a save to end the first half stoppage time. I believe it was on Canelo on that save. It was on Gonzalez at the end of first half stoppage time. Gonzalez then scored at the start of the second half. Then Andre Blake makes a penalty stop on a penalty by Gonzalez to his left with the save. If he makes that and it's 2-2, this would have been very different. And now it's a 3-1 game as Carranza had that third goal for the Union. So give Tijuana credit. I know they're down by 2 goals, but they made a mess of this, even though 2 players are out due to red cards.
Was that you saying that Andre Blake is the man of the match?
Sure. I think that's the Cliff Dose version. Takes me back to 8th grade. Used that a lot.
No, it's good to have Andre back. We know how big of a role he plays in this team, and not only keeping them organized, but the big saves that he makes, and they needed him tonight.
Jesus Bueno with a good combination at the top of the D. 2-step approach. Stopped by Corona right at his 6 as it was laced forward off the left boot of Jesus Bueno. Second shot from him tonight will come out here for Tijuana. Corona's still keeping this a 2-goal scoreline right now.
And we talk about the goal situation for the Union, but also for Tijuana not wanting to give up too many goals and put themselves in a bad tie-breaking situation where they're getting out due to goals scored against.
McGlynn will roll this back over to Jesus Bueno. And Bueno, again, we've complimented him throughout our broadcast tonight. As he's getting more playing time for Jim Curtin and the technical staff, just really happy for him. Called several of his games last year for Union 2 and MLS Next Pro, Shannon, and getting well-deserved MLS minutes for the team, and also obviously outside the competition here in Leagues Cup and also Champions League. Header there by Carranza, looking for Michael Ua. Out came Corona. Came off of Ua in the end. Didn't hit Corona. It should be a goal kick for the goalkeeper of Tijuana.
And with Jesus Bueno, you're seeing a player grow in confidence, and not only grow in confidence, but start to earn his manager's trust. We've seen him come in big moments for the Union and play well and take his opportunity, and it's led to more minutes for him. So credit to him and doing the right things when you're not starting and you're not seeing a lot of minutes to keep himself going, and when you see that opportunity to grasp it with both hands.
Union looking to close this one out. We are in the 94th minute, by the way. Second half stoppage time. Probably have about a minute left of this one, as the Union will go into their second match against Querétaro. That will be next Wednesday. We will have to call it 7:30 p.m. local time on 97.5 The Fanatic. David Shannon will be with you, with our producer Kyle Morello, Marty Dickerson in the booth, our engineer Matt Menard back at the studio. Still in the now beginning the 95th minute, Shannon. Should be the last minute of action. Baez tries to go past Damian Lowe. Is called for the foul outside the 18 on the defensive half to the right of Andre Blake, and a yellow card to Damian Lowe. Came into the second half here in the 95th minute with the Union up by 2.
And while it's been tough to get him the ball, I think Baez has been one of the best players on the field in this second half. Created the opportunity for Tijuana to get themselves back in the game, and has been dangerous anytime he's gotten on the ball and looked to attack that Union back line.
I agree with you, and set up the assist there to Gonzalez in the 46th minute. He is on the ball. And a healthy addition for Miguel Herrera, trying to get one back late here. Again, goal differential very important here in Leagues Cup as you go to the standings in the group stage. Get 3 points if you win. If you have a draw, each team will each earn a point, and if you win a penalty shootout, kicks from the spot, there will be 2 points awarded to the team who wins. There's no added extra time played. Whipped in by Baez right at goal and high above Andre Blake. Will come out for Blake at a goal kick. So that's another wrinkle to this Leagues Cup action. Again, haven't played Leagues Cup. This is the first iteration of this tournament between MLS and Liga MX, going right to penalties, which we almost saw in that Miami Cruz Azul game last night before Messi ripped that one home. By the way, there's the whistle from our match referee, Nation, and that will do it tonight from Subaru Park. Well, it was turbulent, but the Philadelphia Union get it done with a 3-1 scoreline. It is a goal and a penalty from Daniel Gazdag to get things started, then a brace by Julian Carranza and a penalty stop by Andre Blake, and the Union pick up a win in their first ever Leagues Cup game over Tijuana tonight.
and a good start into their first foray into the Leagues Cup and getting their first win and being dominant at moments and showing a good stretch of moments where they were able to combine and look to get chances. Need to clean up some stuff like we talked about. I know Jim will be upset about those moments more than he is happy about the overall win, but a win is a win, and they'll take it, and they'll go on to the next game and try to get another 3 points.
Lonzo with goals tonight. Shane in the 28th and 71st minute. Gazdag in the 21st minute on a penalty. A perfect 12 of 12 from the penalty spot for the Union. And a big first win in East 1 play in the group stage of Leagues Cup. We will wrap up this whole match and get you set for the next one against Querétaro next Wednesday. But for now, a final tonight from Chester 3-1 Union over Tijuana. More to come in our post-game show. After these messages, you're listening to Philadelphia Union Soccer in Leagues Cup on 97.5 The Fanatic.
You're listening to the Union Radio Network.
How do we create hope for a cleaner planet? Together. We see you conscious carpooling and weekend beach cleaning. All who've long gone green and all taking their first steps. We see you doing your part for the planet every day. And Green Mountain Energy is here to power everything you do with 100% renewable wind and solar energy. So join us for the love of the planet and for the hope inspired by everything on it. Green Mountain Energy. Light the future. PUCT 10009.
Don't let bone, muscle, or joint pain sideline you from your favorite activities. Premier Orthopedics physicians and therapists treat all injuries with the expertise and resources to help get you back to feeling your best. And with more than 50 locations throughout the region, including 2 orthopedic urgent care centers, Premier Orthopedics provides exceptional care when and where you need it. Get back in the game. Call Premier Orthopedics today at 1-855-ORTHO-24 or visit premierortho.com. Premier Orthopedics is the official orthopedics and physical therapy partner of the Philadelphia Union.
The SEPTA Transit Police Department is hiring experienced officers and entry-level new recruits. Apply today to join a department that keeps one of the largest transit systems in the country safe and comfortable for all who ride. There is no residency requirement and salaries start at $56,000. Benefits include tuition reimbursement, the opportunity to rotate through specialized units, and a dynamic and supportive working environment. Build your career in law enforcement with SEPTA. Learn more and apply today at jobs.septa.org.
Whether it's a weekend staycation, intimate getaway, or you just want to spoil yourself and a loved one, discover Sofitel Philadelphia at Rittenhouse Square, a luxury resort with a perfect blend of French elegance and American style, ideally located in the city of brotherly love. Each Sofitel draws inspiration from local culture and tradition while celebrating innovation and the French art de vivre to offer a one-of-a-kind luxurious hotel experience. From design details to exhibitions and events, discover what makes our hotel so unique. Plan your Philadelphia getaway now, and for the lowest rate anywhere, book directly with Sofitel at SofitelPhiladelphia.com. You're listening to the Union Radio Network.
Final tonight from Subaru Park in Chester, Pennsylvania to start Leagues Cup play in the group stage. The Philadelphia Union defeat Club Tijuana by a score of 3-1. Dave Little and Shannon Williams high above the booth here at Subaru Park. And Shannon, we talked about this in the latter stage of the second half. I think Jim Curtin will tell the media in a little bit that I don't think it was the prettiest night of soccer from his Union team, but they'll gladly take the 2-goal advantage going into the second game of the group stage in Leagues Cup.
They definitely have some moments to clean up, but overall they were able to get the job done, and important to get themselves up and off the mark with 3 points in this Leagues Cup run. So again, things to clean up, but overall, good performance. They got the job done. They got 3 goals and were able to put this game out of reach.
And with just a reset for those that didn't catch the earlier part of the game. So Tijuana, who's been playing in their league play, which they've only played 3 games as opposed to over 30 for the Union across all competitions. So Tijuana tonight sported a back 3, different for their 4-2-3-1. And Shane and I were commenting early on that they were exposed out of the back with Diaz and Fernandez in particular, 2 of their 3 center backs, allowed space tonight for Wagner and Bizo at the start. Remember Quinn Sullivan a little bit quiet at the start of the game. Carranza got himself involved. And I think the Union just started spraying balls over the top, and I think that direct play worked in the Union's favor, and especially using the width tonight.
And we see this happen a lot in Champions League when it's the MLS's turn to start, and they haven't started their season really. So we saw a lot of mistakes from Tijuana. We know that me and you know that they don't normally play out of that back three, and they haven't played that in their own league. So to come out here and to try to throw it out there, you're going to see some mistakes. And you saw two of their center backs get sent off with red cards, and also a missed clearances that led to another goal for the Union. So again, I think that played a factor in the Union having 30 games under their belt and having that rhythm to a team that only has 3 games under this new season that they're in.
I thought Diego Barbosa had a really nice game. Rodrigo Vasquez, who came in very late for Tijuana on the Union half. Who stood out to you? We commented about Jesus Bueno multiple times tonight. Carranza does have the brace. I know he would be for a lot man of the match. Obviously, we'll roll the highlights in just a moment, but Andre Blake making that huge penalty stop in the second half to keep it 2-1 at the time.
And that's why it's so important to have Andre in the goal. He comes up time and time again with huge saves, and actually saves, I think, the Union from getting a tie here and maybe losing some points here in this opening game.
All right, let's roll through the game for those that missed it. Back in the first half, there was a red card issued to Nicolas Diaz, pushing down Carranza. That led 3 minutes later in the 21st minute to be exact for Daniel Gazdag, who rolled home the penalty. Guessing wrong at the time was Rodriguez, the first goalkeeper tonight of Tijuana. That led to a Philadelphia Union 1-0 lead. Then 7 minutes later, Carranza combined inside with McGlynn. First, it was waved off by Carranza, who beat the goalkeeper Rodriguez. And then after video review, it was called a goal for Carranza. A huge stop after it was 2-0 Union by Andre Blake to rob Carlos Gonzalez to go into the locker room. So our second half was very wild. We begin the highlights in the 46th minute for Carlos Gonzalez to get one back for Tijuana.
This is the start of half number 2. Here comes a cross, is in by Bias, looking for Gonzalez a one-time, and they score! And Tijuana gets one right back. Thanks to Carlos Gonzalez, the lead is halved. And in the 46th minute, it's a 2-1 game.
I think for the Union, they didn't come out ready to play in that second half, and it led to Mbaizo getting subbed off early after giving up that early chance and then giving up a penalty. The Union were off to a shaky start, and it wasn't looking good in terms of them being able to snag all 3 points here.
I said it on the broadcast. I thought, for one, like on the scout, they were trying to attack the Olivier Bizer side. I'm not saying that's why he got subbed off in the sequence, but I just thought that sometimes there were some hair-pulling moments for the coaching staff to see them just going down and with ease, trying to twist and turn away from Bizer and that side of the field, not just Olivier.
When you're in these games and the other team has a red card, sometimes you take your foot off the gas a little bit. And I think we saw that at the beginning of that second half, and the Union didn't come out ready to play, even though they were up a man and up 2 goals. And they give up a chance that brings Tijuana right back into the game. And you saw them start to grow in confidence a little bit and be able to knock possession and create chances that they created another one as well.
Yep, so 4 minutes later, as Shannon mentioned, it was the advantage to Tijuana at the start of the second half. They have the lead after the Gonzalez goal that you just heard to make it 2-1. Then Olivier Bizer with a challenge, and after video review, it was called a penalty kick with him taking down Canelo, and Gonzalez stepped up to the spot. Here's the whole sequence.
It's a header by Gonzalez, very tall in the air, probably standing at about 6'5". They're awaiting a whistle from Glesnes, and a foul called right at the tip of the 18 on Olivier Bizer for the Union in the 49th minute on his second ball there. Now, this is being checked, by the way, as if this foul was in the box. Is this going to video review? There's a point to the spot, Shannon. A penalty is upcoming from Tijuana. They're on the brink of getting the equalizer tonight. 23 yards away from goal, so the upper left. In the 52nd minute, there's the whistle for the referee nation. Here's Gonzalez with his approach against Andre Blake for the penalty. Saved by Blake. Cleared away by Carranza. Brick wall Blake with a Herculean penalty stop in the 52nd minute to keep it a 2-1 Union lead.
And a huge momentum shift, as obviously the Union had just given up a PK and almost found Tijuana back into this game at 2-2. Andre comes up with maybe his third save, a huge save, and that one was the biggest, being off the penalty spot, and he does a good job to stand tall, wait for the penalty taker to pick his spot, and then dives down to his left.
I don't know if you remember the approach by Gonzalez, but instead of like a 3-step approach, I remember he was almost towards like the tip of the 18, closer to the D. He was running in a straight line at Andre, who dove to his left, And Gonzalez went to his right, again to Andre's left. Andre is at the base of the club end of the stadium. Dodu is left on the grass, and read it perfectly, Shannon, to make that save.
And a lot of the times the penalty taker likes to play a little game of chicken and trying to get that goalkeeper to dive early and see if he can slot it down the other side. Unfortunately for the Tijuana player, he wasn't able to get Andre to move. And then that makes for a little bit of nervousness, and he doesn't get a great shot on goal, and Andre's able to get down to his left and make a big save that I think swings the momentum as then they go on, they get another red card, and then go from there.
So that is the Andre Blake we know and love to keep it at that moment a 2-1 Philadelphia Union lead. Later on, a red card was assessed to Kevin Belanda in the 56th minute. And fast forwarding from there, Julian Carranza, the 72nd minute, bangs home the third Union goal tonight and his second. 23 yards away from goal to the upper left of Corona, the goalkeeper of Tijuana, in a 2-1 game. Gazda, Carranza, good chip inside. Bueno, back to Carranza with the shot. Takes a deflection off of Tijuana and in for Julian Carranza. It's a brace tonight for Carranza. And an important third goal tonight. 3-1 Union, 72nd minute.
And for the Union, they do a good job of keeping possession and good possession in the Tijuana half, and then being able to combine at the top of the box. We talked about Bueno having an impact, and he was able to cut it back for Carranza, who plays it into the goal.
So Carranza with the brace tonight. Goal line clearance by Vasquez later on to negate a hat trick by Carranza. Actually, only in 3 attempts at a hat trick, 2 definitively, I can tell you, and nearly a half chance on a third, but not to be. A couple of nice stops I do want to credit Corona, Shannon, who came in off the bench after Rodriguez was spelled kind of like midway through this second half. Hopefully he is okay. So again, they made a goalkeeper change with a 42-year-old wonder, Jose Corona, the Mexican international, coming in off the bench and kept this a 3-1 scoreline, even though Tijuana lost by 2. Very important for them to just be down by 2. Obviously, 2 of the 3 teams in this group will move on to the knockout stage.
It was important for them to not let the game get out of hand, which would have been easy to do being down 2 men and all the work that they were able to put in to try and cover down and cover up the ground. I thought Corona came in and did an admirable job. He gave up an early goal, but then was able to settle in and keep this game at a respectable scoreline to give themselves a chance when they play their second game of the first round.
I do want to ask you about Andre Blake and him stopping penalties, because I know you played with Andre. So just looking at his MLS numbers, again, these are just league play. He's made 7 saves and allowed 32 goals. And I know, looking back at, people can go back to MLS Cup and seeing John McCarthy, which he was more like the penalty kick specialist, right? Union's backup number 2 for a long time. He comes up and prevails over the Union for LAFC. But over the years, just your thoughts on Andre stopping penalties, and obviously gets the beautiful read tonight to stop Gonzalez.
You talk about big plays in a game, and he always seems to make them, and they don't go as noticed as probably the goals that are scored by Carranza or whoever it might be, but those moments and those saves are such big moments in the game, and he's won the Union himself so many points, and that's not easy to think about as we're talking about a goalkeeper here who doesn't have the impact that other players have on the game. But you're seeing that, again, he comes up time and time with the save that the Union need to keep themselves in a game or keep themselves ahead. And he did that again tonight, time and time again. And he does it all season, and he's done it for countless seasons. So we're talking about a top goalkeeper in the league, and he's been that way since the Union have had him.
So the Union next, Shannon, will match up against another club from Liga MX. The Mexican side, you pronounce it Querétaro. Again, the accent's on that R-E, that second syllable. So going against Los Gallos, that's a rooster, by the way, in Spanish. That will be on Wednesday. We will have the call 7:30 tonight. Took a bevy of Spanish classes over the years. Shit, I'm not pretending to be an expert here. But I will say, aside from making my Spanish teachers proud, that the Union will get a win here and going into the second of just 2 games in the group stage, trying to go to the knockout round, which will be a round of 32. Do you expect, my question is, some rotation from this game going to Wednesday night against Querétaro?
I think you'll see a little bit of